Our plane went down while flying over the Amazon. I do not know if the pilot survived the crash. I must have been bitten by something, because I wandered aimlessly through the jungle. Once my fever broke, I began to catalog the resources around me, including the indigenous animals. You see, my employer understands the dangers of a resource such as me being lost in the rainforest, so we were provided basic survival training. I was surprised to come upon a small settlement so quickly. There's a water source nearby, but that is a dangerous consideration. The village looks abandoned, but it is not without its useful tools. Tools that I am somewhat familiar with using. The fire starter is different than the bow drill, but I will figure it out. The provisions here are rotten, but they are also not without their uses. The maggots from the meat can help if my bite gets infected, and the grub larva can help me catch small prey. And of course, the sticks and coal I found will be useful in starting a fire if I am here that long, which of course I hope that I am not. The animals here do not seem alarmed by my presence, as long as I keep my distance. I am careful not to jump into the water without looking. Piranha and freshwater stingrays are very dangerous and hard to see in the murky waters. Survival training has taught me I need cutting tools, weapons, access to safe water, and food, preferably in that order. But I am seeing no rocks I can use as cutting tools, only large boulders and small pebbles. These will not do, but I will find what I need and pick up firewood along the way. One last thing, I must keep an eye out for predators, particularly large cats. I collected cordage to help me build tools, weapons, and small structures. After some searching along the riverbank, I realized there was not immediate access to stones. Before I continued my search, I decided I must make a simple weapon to protect me from dangers. This basic spear should protect me from danger, but I need to test its effectiveness. It was sharp, but not very accurate. But while I was making it, I did have an idea. It was then that I realized I still need a cutting tool to test this idea. Santa Maria! I cried out, never before being so happy to see a stone. It's hard to believe something so simple and common could be the difference between life and death. My lack of training is evident in the poor quality of the tools I made. They will do for now, but I must make sure to gather more resources as they were destined to break soon. Before I completed the trap, I decided to make myself another weapon. This spot seems to be a high traffic area for the local capybara, so perhaps I can use the trap I created to catch prey as well as home defense. I cut down some leaves to cover up the trap, and will need some additional leaves so I can let them dry out. I will need these soon to have kindling for a fire. Before I began my search for water and food, I decided to look for more stones. After making the two cutting tools earlier, I came up with an idea for an improvement on the rudimentary spear I had made. The new one should prove to be more accurate and effective. I think I have found a good spot to gather more stones. Hopefully this will make life in this green hell easier. But before I made the new weapon, I found my backpack overburdened with sticks. I will need a steady supply of these, so I must make sure I drop them off each time I am at the camp. Combining my knowledge of making a cutting tool and basic spear, I have combined it with the cordage I have found to make a new weapon. Stone is stronger and heavier than just wood, so this should be better balanced and cause more damage. I will still keep the wooden one as a backup, just in case. It was still early in the day, but I began to worry that if I did not find safe drinking water, or a way to make this water safe, that I would suffer from the effects of dehydration. While searching for a solution and foraging along the way, I almost stepped on a spider. Possibly the same thing that bit me earlier in the day. Time to test my aim. It was here I came across my first good edible fortune. Once I properly prepare the meat, this will help nourish me.
Oh no. You gotta be kidding me.
I screamed in frustration. But it is okay, because I have the materials to make a new one and keep going. This herb is life-saving, but also deadly. You can eat part of it to help with poisoning, but if you eat the wrong part, it could kill you. Strangely enough, if you boil the poisonous flower part in water, it becomes a fever reducer, like ibuprofen. Nature has a funny way about her, does she not? I also found tobacco leaves that can be used with a bandage to help relieve poisonous bites. But first I have to find something to make a bandage with. The coming rain was a painful reminder of how thirsty I was. It mocks me, showing me what I need but not giving me the vessel to benefit from it. While I was very thirsty, the GPS and health tracker given to me by my employer showed I was in need of carbohydrates as well. So much, in fact, I ate the mushrooms right from the log. One day the trees outside the camp will provide me with bananas, but today was not that day. On my way back to camp, I felt a presence on my leg. No pain, just something weird. To my surprise, I had a stowaway. So this is part of life now, I suppose. I put the macaw meat on the dryer left by the previous inhabitants, but I fear the rain will prevent or slow the drying process. I have to find another way, and I cannot forget that I am in desperate need of hydration. Now that I know my trap works, this makes meat preparation all the more critical. I will keep the bones. I'm sure they will have many uses later. The problem is the leaves I collected earlier still have not dried to become tinder. Today was a great day for gathering herbs. I found one that is an antihistamine, but like the tobacco, requires a bandage. I have to make sure I maintain an awareness of the direction I explore. If I lose my sense of direction even for 10 seconds, even in the early evening, it could mean me getting lost and certain death. The water is inviting, but I know it is deadly. The parasites in it will cause tapeworms that will devour much of what I eat. I have to hold out for a solution as long as I can. The drying process is slow, even without the rain. I fear this is not self-sustaining. A sense of hopelessness and dread has set in, a feeling like death is inevitable. And now the river water joins in with the rain to soothingly mock me.
God, I'm thirsty.
I found myself saying out loud, because my thirst is deafening. But when all seemed lost, at its darkest hour, I find amazing salvation. Santa Maria otra vez! The little hat-shaped mushrooms, they allowed me to shout back at the rain and defy the river water. I had never seen them in person before, only in books as part of my training. They are safe to eat, but toxic to tapeworms and other parasites. I drink freely and deeply, for now.
Oh, God.
must admit, when I completed my survival training, I was overconfident, burdened by the comforts of technology. Today, I have been humbled. But although I scored a goal in the final moments of extra time, tomorrow the score resets to 0 and I must play again. This bastard of a Green Hill game.